Hello, we are live. Little late,
He might think he's live. Me, I'm half dead.
all
I
right.
got soaked to the bone today because it poured like a bitch out there.
Yeah, where were you at that it poured like a bitch out there?
Madison,
Really?
doing my route. I started my route like 5:40 this morning, and it was raining like
Yeah,
it was sprinkling at that point, and then
Thursday
it
when I
started
when
getting a
I
little
on my way,
harder.
it was raining.
Started getting a little harder, and then started getting a little harder, and get a little harder, and then about 7 o'clock it just started opening up, and then between 8 and 9 it just freaking like a waterfall. And
Poured.
then of course 9 o'clock hits a little like 9 o'clock is like somebody flipped a fucking switch and it went from downpour to oh look, it's like a salt shaker. And of course I got soaked down to my fucking socks. My shoes and socks were wet all the way through. My hoodie I had on was just drenched. I had my hat on. I could stand flat footed straight up and down, and my hat would start dripping. I tilt my head this way and it start pouring.
Do you know they do sperm races?
Sperm races.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Dawn had sent me a link on
So
TikTok.
what? How they do that? They stick a
Sperm
camera up.
races.
Do they stick a camera up there and then let the guy
No,
blow nut in her
I'm
and see
thinking
how
that they
fast
already
he
have their
spins?
sperm out because they what they do is they inject it into something from a test tube
Oh, that ain't no fun.
injector.
It's more fun injecting it yourself.
Yeah,
The
Hiya,
things,
hiya.
the things people will come up with to
I'm
entertain
supposed to
Yep.
bring a fresh stool sample with me tomorrow.
Well, you better get building that stool.
Enjoy.
Well, then you better go out there and collect it. Follow her around with a
A
baggie while
fresh
she's
one? Well,
outside.
you better go out there and get it now because that's probably what she's doing out there pooping. Because, like he said, she didn't want to go out this morning, right? Because of the rain.
Well,
No, she's been out since I've been home.
Oh, it's
she's
ugly out there.
playing the in-out game for treats. She thinks every time she goes outside, and then she barks and she comes back in, she gets treats. You know,
Oof,
so now she's playing a
where's my
game
treat?
to try to get more.
Yeah, well.
Uh, so you're
Uh,
collecting. Oh, she goes in for her. She's
Shots
taking
tomorrow.
her to get her shots tomorrow.
okay, you're taking her to do her shots, but you got to take fresh shit. Well,
Apparently,
tell them to go out and get the shit off their yard. Let her poop there.
it's just I didn't think. Okay, some of the things that are coming out of your mouth are like, okay,
What?
no, her. All of a sudden she's like, I need fresh
Well, no, it
a
was
stool sample, and then earlier it was like sperm races, and
sperm waste was from Dawn. The stool sample was from Casterly
but it
Sperm
Veterinary
all
raising
came
Care.
out of your
sperm
mouth.
whale, sperm whales.
Oh. Yeah, we haven't been doing much, Darren.
No, it's
Although,
all him, not me.
what?
What?
It's like
You
I
say
start
something?
now that it's gotten warmer. My days are going to start getting
Mm-hmm.
busier, and the weekends are going to start getting busier
Well, my first week on my new route. How many hours you think I got in?
too.
100.
No. Are you kidding me? I'd be dead. I'd be sitting here dead right now if I put in 100 hours in 5 days. I got 56 hours when I finally clocked out. 56 hours.
56 hours?
I'm not gonna have that each week because I
You're
got
cutting in and out.
I get that
Okay.
day.
I'm losing the audio on my end.
I don't know why,
Okay, you're good.
but no, I wouldn't have the. What caused me to get more hours today is the fact that the heavy rain slowed me down, and then we had a mandatory meeting that everybody had to be at,
Yeah.
and so I wound up with probably 3 hours extra, 3 4 hours extra today because of all that shit. But still, I'm winding up with more hours now since they restructured my route than I used to have.
Yeah, but you still don't, you got to work Thursdays now.
Well, yeah, but I got Fridays and Saturdays off.
Mm. Well,
That's that's my compromise. I get Fridays and Saturdays off. I'm
you pretty
trying to.
much always had Saturdays off, but
Well, yeah, but now I've got full day Sundays and I don't have half day Fridays anymore. So I got the whole day Friday.
oh, so you almost got a
Uh,
whole weekend off.
yeah, the cherry lime Ricky, sparkling cherry lime, made by Arizona Tea. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, I'm going away this, what is it, Saturday? I'm going away.
Yeah, we're finally committing. We're finally going to commit him. Tanya found an asylum really close that we can finally get him into.
Really close. We're traveling to Chicago on Saturday. That's not close.
We're traveling like 3 hours away.
3 hours away.
Wow. Ooh, that's got a kick to it. That's pretty
Going
good.
down to meet
We're going down for a paranormal event.
Then where's this asylum you said you found that you're going to commit him to?
Uh,
You told me the other day you found an asylum close by that we could finally put him in so we can get him the help he needs.
They're going to put me in Mendota.
No, you already tried that.
No, I'm going down.
But you went to CWC, Central Wisconsin Colony.
I'm going down to Chicago for an event.
I wouldn't be saying you're going down very loud because that can be construed.
What was that I was watching? I was watching something. What was that we were watching, and I had to rewind it because I'm like, see, even he pronounces it with the S, and it's supposed to be silent.
Oh.
I was watching a video like on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it was like an interview or something. And he was talking about Illinois, and he kept saying it with the S not being silent and calling it Illinois. That one's just for you, Nick, if you're watching.
Anyway.
So yeah, since I couldn't go to the one I wanted to go to later this month, some of those events that are coming up, I noticed they're charging an arm and a leg for. And they don't need to charge so much, but they do it because the venue's charging them.
They do it because they can.
Well, that plus like wherever the venue is, like that venue is gonna cost so much for the weekend or whatever, and then they got to charge something to make up for it, right? Well, I also notice a lot of these places they get smart and they charge. They do it in like different places, and there's no like charge for it because you know they did their research and figured out, well, we could do it here, and
Or they're able to
cover
charge
the
really
cost
low.
ourselves, and then not charge much or charge $1 a person or a couple. But when it gets up into 50, $60 a person just to go to a paranormal convention where you see a bunch of vendors, you can barely hear some of the speakers because the vendor and the speaker floor are all in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
It gets
I know
ridiculous.
what one you're talking about. I didn't go to that one.
But I'm just saying some of these ones, you get to go to, but then they're run by somebody or some group, and it's, yeah, it's just, I wanted to go to the one in Appleton, but there's no way I'm gonna afford the $80 on top of the road trip and everything else for the one in Appleton. It's, and they've got a good lineup of people that are going to be there. It's just, you know, what's this?
Well, oh, you brought it up? Okay, hang on. Check this out. I just ran across it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Check that fucker out, though, man. Look at that. Now watch. He's going in on the headlight. Fucking transformer. Pretty fresh looking car, ain't it?
It looks like it's supposed to be like.
It's a Camaro. It's a Camaro.
It looks like it's supposed to be a newer version of Kit.
Nope. It's a transformer. Do you not see the Autobot symbol on the headlight when he zooms in on it?
Nope.
It's a Camaro, but that he goes in on the headlight and there's the transformer emblem,
Oh.
Autobots emblem.
Well, I'm not a big fan of Autobots.
That is it. That is a fresh looking fucking car.
It is a cool looking car. I'll give it that.
Oh hell yeah! Ran across that on the reels. Hey Tom, look, it's Tom. Hey, wait a minute. Where's your camera, man? What the hell? I don't know.
Oh, whoa.
Oh well.
What?
Joe, what the hell are you doing, Joe?
What is going on?
I don't know.
Mark don't know what he's doing. He's trying
That
to.
ain't me. That was not me. That's Joe controlling that whole damn thing, man.
These amateurs, man. Let me tell you.
Did you see that car I just showed?
I did not. I was
Dude, okay. I still got
ordering
it.
my food, which I'm gonna have to go leave in 15 minutes to pick up. Then I'll be right back.
Well,
but
I haven't gotten rid of it yet. So here,
a cheesesteak and some ultimate fries, which is mozzarella ranch and bacon.
Steak.
Ooh.
Oh God, yeah, I can't wait.
Too bad you can't send that to the internet, to the web.
Right? I send it as an attachment in an email.
Bring it all the way up there.
I'm not touching it now.
I don't see.
No, hang on.
Oh, what is that? The back car?
No. Let it run through. You'll catch what it is. This is a fresh looking fucking.
It's a transformer.
Yeah, it's Camaro. But check that out. Isn't that supposed to be like insane?
Is that supposed to be like Bumblebee?
It's supposed to be like the new Bumblebee.
Wait, he changed races?
No, that's a Autobot symbol.
He used to be yellow. What the hell?
Yeah, but I'm just saying that is a fresh.
That's why they called him Bumblebee.
And wasn't Bumblebee a VW Bug?
Originally,
well, at one point, yeah.
Originally, yes. And in the Bumblebee movie, they actually made him a bug until the very end, and then it showed him when he was leaving her. It showed him scan that Camaro.
Well, wasn't he a Camaro in the Transformers movie too, though?
Yes, in the original, the very first Transformers movie that they made,
But he
the
was
live
yellow.
action one, he was a yellow Camaro, an old Camaro,
Wow.
and then he became a new Camaro after after Sam made his comments and shit. Then Bumblebee went and, "What'd you do?"
I didn't do nothing.
I'm
That
not in
was
control. I
not
can't-
me. What the hell, Joe? You messed
I didn't
things
do
up
nothing.
again.
I
That
ain't
was
controlling shit over here.
You're
But
over there trying to
I figured
steer
I
it.
would come on for the 15 minutes, so that I show good faith that I am coming. Coming on, coming on, coming. Wait, no, wait. I will be arriving. I will be here. I have to choose my words carefully because I know what I'd be saying. So,
Yeah, you might get picked on.
but I am having a beer because it's been a long fucking day.
Now you
So,
got to go get your food. Then don't be having
yeah.
a beer until you get it
Well, I
and be
couldn't
back
wait.
with it.
I have to have
You
another
know?
beer then.
I thought I
wanna-
was
you
ordering
wanna
food to be
drink.
delivered, and then my dad just has to pick the one place that does not deliver. Well, I want a cheesesteak, but I don't want it from here, 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 or here. I want it from there. Because
Grubhub,
he
dude.
lives to make my life as hard
Grubhub.
as he can. Huh?
Grubhub.
No, they take so long with stuff like any of those Uber Eats, Grubhub, all that. They take so long that the stuff is cold by the time it gets you here.
I wouldn't trust them fuckers in the first place.
It's only like not even 10 minutes away. So,
You know, hi Ashley.
Hi,
They
Ash.
they take yeah.
Oh, hi there.
Around here where I live, we can't get anything delivered to us.
Wow.
What do you mean? I thought you got pizzas delivered out there.
No, we can't. The what was that? Marco's Pizza.
Yeah, Marcos used to deliver out. They closed up, didn't they?
Yeah, they pretty much closed up, so they don't deliver out here. And when they did, it was like $5 delivery fee.
Well, there's always a delivery
You
charge.
know, yeah, but still, it's like, they would make so much money, a lot of those places that deliver in town, if they would take the extra time to come out to this community and deliver. No, you can't do that. We don't want our drivers getting lost.
Is that a green curtain behind you, Mark, or is it a green screen?
Huh?
Huh? Over your left shoulder.
Oh, that's my that's actually my cloth, my green cloth.
Oh,
I can set that all up as a green screen. I even got these.
I was just curious.
Here.
You don't have to.
No, check this out.
Check this out. I can walk away and still talk because I got Bluetooth. Oh, noise canceling stuff. Yeah.
I can put them up here. I got a whole bunch of these. I can line this whole back wall with them.
Well, that would take a while.
No, it'd take a little bit, but I won't do it right now.
Fuck it, nail gun.
Yeah.
I got a stapler. I got one of the gun staples.
Oh,
The
not
gun
a staple
stapler.
gun, but gun staple.
Yeah, something like that. Staple guns, gun stapler, whatever.
I got gun staples. There's staples that fire guns.
Yeah, there you go. It's been a long day.
that
It's
would
been a
be
long
fun.
week, man.
Yeah,
I got 56 hours in this week.
I don't.
My week started Sunday morning, and I went from Madison down to Iowa City, made my delivery, and then back to Madison. And then I came back home, and then went back into work at like stupid o'clock in the morning, which is like 3:30 in the morning on Monday. Loaded up, went all the way up to the Twin Cities out of Madison,
Wow.
up to St. Paul in Minneapolis, and then came back.
See, for those of you that don't know, he's actually a mule for the cartel.
Hey, yeah,
so-
I
Yeah,
feel
there
that
you
way. I feel that way sometimes. And then came home, got about 6 hours sleep, got my happy ass up Tuesday morning, went into work, clocked in about 4:30. Got the truck, the big truck, into the dock, loaded up my freight, did my one stop in Madison, and then came back to the terminal, threw everything that went down to the one stop in Chicago, and had to drive all the way down to Chicago.
That's weird
make that
because
one
my,
stop.
my ass is rarely ever happy now that I'm over 50. I'm just saying.
And then Wednesday did it all over again, going back up to Minneapolis. And today I actually got to stay around town all day, around Madison.
See, here I am spoiled. My work is literally less than 15 minutes away from my house.
I'm
Nice.
30 minutes out from where I start my day. But my day consists of me sitting my ass in a seat and driving a truck, either a cargo van or a freaking actual 26-foot straight truck.
I am at enough risk just driving my car around for road rage. I could not even imagine.
I have plenty of that. There are too many damn idiots on the road as it is.
My blood pressure is through the roof as it is. Like the doctor's actually worried at this point.
You know, I could see that. You know, the thing about big cities like Madison or like Philadelphia, where you're from, area.
God. People are
You know,
idiots.
if you were driving for a living, like say driving cab or Uber or whatever the fuck it is now, you would have some serious road rage.
I'd
with
get
these
fired.
idiots out on the road now.
I would be
I
fired.
mean, I was shocked that before I got my temper under control, I was working at Union Cab and in Madison and oh my God, I had some serious road rage. I mean, them students, I mean, not only are we the drunkest state, considered the drunkest state.
We are.
Madison is considered the drunkest state, but Madison has to be the capital of that.
Madison is the capital of Wisconsin, but Madison is also the capital of the drunkest
state.
Why are we being called Toronto Leaf fans? I'm from Philly, man. I'm a Flyers fan. I mean, I'm not so much in the last so many years because they suck, but you know, yeah, it's beer that's at the root of my hand. It's no, I'm having a beer. It's been a long day. It's been a day.
You know, I don't get that done until tomorrow. I got the patches. I got all the patches. But I get the leather vest and hopefully I get it all sewn on Saturday.
You don't have a sewing machine?
Not for leather.
No.
Hell bent for leather? Wait, wasn't that a song? That was Judas Priest, wasn't it?
You got to have a special sewing needle or something for the leather when you're sewing on the leather or some
Well,
shit.
Joanne, look. That's why I thought you said that. I thought, wow, that's a good catch.
But I should have it hopefully done by Saturday before I leave for Chicago.
Cool. Chicago.
Yeah. I'm heading to a paranormal meetup in Chicago.
Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois. Let's piss off Nick a little bit.
No. It's Chakrapko, Illinois.
Well, yeah. I've never been, so I don't know.
That one's for Nick, by the way.
Although if I did go there,
Chakrapko, Illinois.
I would have to go visit. Isn't that where they filmed Ferris Bueller?
Yeah.
Ferris Bueller, The Breakfast Club. That's Shermer High School.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to go see all that shit, man.
It's supposed to be Shermer High School.
Wayne's World is
down in that area too.
Aurora, Illinois.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, yeah, Wayne's World was Aurora.
Yeah, because
Roseanne was part of Illinois.
I took my Wayne's World hat and and put it in the truck and just to take the picture of the Aurora, Illinois sign with me standing
Well,
in front of it with the Wayne's World hat.
you do know that was part of the
The Blues
inspiration.
Brothers, yeah. I got photos of that Blues Brother car.
Yeah.
They have it on display.
Oh
At,
yeah, up in the yeah.
yeah,
It's not the
it's like
actual
on a
car.
pole,
It's a
A
replica.
replica. Yeah.
but still,
The actual car
that
got
was kind of
destroyed. I
cool.
think. But yeah, I mean, that would be a series of Tom's World videos. Which, speaking of Wayne's World, that was a partial inspiration for me making my channel Tom's World. Well, this is Tom's World, but it started off as just Tom's World, and that's what I refer to it as most times. And it does come from Wayne's World. Also comes from Bobby's World too. But you know,
Bobby's World.
I love Howie Mandel.
I like that show.
Howie
Bobby
Mandel
Mom-
used to be really cool before he shaved all his hair off and then went weird.
Bobby's mom used to
Yeah,
talk real
he did.
funny.
Oh, and now oof,
How's it going? Don't you know?
don't you know? She, like the whole family. She's the only one that had like I think it was supposed to be Irish kind of accent, but it sounded more like Minnesota.
Well, she said "don't you know" a lot at the end of everything she said.
Don't you know?
Uh-oh.
It's always Mountain Dew cake.
Incoming message from the goddess.
Uh-oh.
Ah, it's just hearts.
You just can't tell.
Uh-oh. The goddess has spoken, therefore you have to jump.
Oh, I must. You don't
Yes,
know.
and
Like
how
2
high-
nights ago,
How high has she told you to jump?
she hasn't. I just know. I'm that good. A couple nights ago, I was actually passing out here, and I did not answer her message after she got home. She sent me another one later. I didn't answer that, and then she called me when I was like ready to I was just about crawling in the bed. She called me, and I didn't answer then, and then I realized it was her calling me. I woke up enough to call her back, and I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So I had to kiss some ass there, you know.
You were in
The
trouble.
Baja Blast. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go pick up my cheesesteak and fries,
Oh, get your cheese stick and fries.
and I shall return.
I actually
Nope.
have a tuna casserole waiting for me downstairs. Lisa made it for me.
Yummy.
I haven't tried that, and I probably never will.
I'm gonna get me one of those Baja ha ha ha.
Baja.
Yeah, it's a Hank Hill thing.
I know Hank Hill thing.
You know they're coming back too. By the way, King of the Hill.
What? King of the Hill.
Yeah, it's either
Oh.
on Netflix or HBO Max. I forget which one, but they're coming back. New
Oh.
episodes. Now I'll tell you what. All right, I will
Just
be
like
back.
Beavis and Butthead came back.
Same guy, Mike Judge.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
that's
All right,
right.
I'll be right back.
You know, there. Did you know? Did you seen that boat down in Milwaukee?
What boat down? What boat you talking about in Milwaukee? Talking about the one that you can put your car on and go from Milwaukee over
No.
to Michigan?
This one.
Hang on. No, I have not seen that boat. What the fuck?
Well, apparently, first that's Lake Michigan. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. This boat, I don't know. I don't remember what it originally looked like, but it did not originally look like that, all full of graffiti. It was like a yacht, and
Okay.
somehow it
That looks
got,
like a cabin cruiser, actually, not a yacht. That's
well,
a cabin
either
cruiser.
way, it got they whoever abandoned it there left it there, and it's been there for almost a year now.
Mm-hmm.
And it said the rescue boat is still there too, and one of its pontoons is busted off floating nearby.
That's funny.
And over time, it's gotten graffitied because it was just left there, and they've been trying to figure out how to remove that boat ever since.
You go pull it out of there and pull it along.
Apparently, they haven't figured that out. But it's still there. And so every now and then it gets like, they show it like this. People with graphic, Photoshop and stuff like that says, here's plan B. Yeah. So apparently it's, all kinds of different stuff been showing up on the internet, but it's been there since sometime towards the end of summer last year,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just left in abandoned. It broke down or something, and it's been like, the star of the Facebook for Milwaukee ever since then. People repainting it and, repainting the picture and then
Yeah.
showing it in many different ways. And it's like, oh, wow. I never got down to that area of Milwaukee to see it, though. Apparently, though, there is a cruise lines that I never knew this either. There's like cruise lines that show up in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Like Carnival Cruises, et cetera, those big ass boats. Never knew that either. Oh, and then that one ferry that takes off from Milwaukee so you can skip going to Chicago and through Indiana to get to Michigan. Nah, I checked that sucker out. 2.5 hour ferry ride across Lake Michigan on this boat.
Mm-hmm.
Going to cost you about $295 a person.
Really?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I was looking at that because they were like just starting the season, and I looked to see what it would cost, and you got to count every person that's in your vehicle.
That's just fucking ridiculous.
So I'm like, fuck that shit. I mean, there's ferries. All right, there's the one ferry that doesn't cost much, but yeah, it doesn't take 10 maybe minutes to cross whatever it crosses, the Merrimack ferry, and that one's free.
Well, yeah, but that's here in the state. It's at the Wisconsin River. It takes you from one side to the other of the Wisconsin
River, so you don't
Yeah,
have to
big fucking deal. That's part of the services for the county. That's what that actually that particular one is paid for by your taxes that are collected in that county. But the one that we're talking about, that one's a privately owned.
Yeah, it's privately owned.
That goes from Milwaukee over to
Michigan. I mean, I'd love to take the cruise across Lake Michigan like that, but there's no way I'm spending that kind of money for that.
No, hell no. That's ridiculous, man.
I mean, it would be really interesting to see. Oh, and then that boat that I showed you the picture that's in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That is actually part of that Lake Michigan Triangle.
Oh, yeah, because they're trying to say there's something like
the
Bermuda Triangle up in Lake Michigan. Yeah.
So that boat, however it got abandoned or however it got, washed up on that shoreline, somehow it's caught up in that Lake Michigan triangle. You know, but there's no way. I mean, I would really like to do that just once. You know, nope, not going to pay that money for it though.
No,
Not worth it.
no, that's too ridiculous, man.
You know, I mean, I know there's a quicker way to get from here to Michigan and avoid, you know, Illinois and Indiana and stuff. And that's to go up north, like by Door County and all of that, and go over there that way.
Well, yeah, you can go to the Upper Peninsula and take the Upper Peninsula up and around, and then take the bridge that goes between the peninsula to the mainland over there.
Right.
There's a way of doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm
And then
gonna
there's another bridge after you do that. Then you go down a ways, and then there's another bridge that goes from the top part of Michigan up into Canada.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to figure that out to get over to Michigan the next time I go that way because, yeah, I may be going down to Illinois this weekend and stuff, but there's no way I'm ever spending any money in a dispensary down there ever again. But I'd be
Where?
more than happy
In Michigan
to in
or
Michigan,
Illinois?
Illinois.
Well, then go to the Upper Peninsula because they got them up there too, and they're under the same.
Because the taxes in Illinois are way too high, you know, and you know, I mean, the dispensaries are like black and white. You know, when you look at the Michigan dispensary,
Yeah,
it's like
to the Illinois one.
it like reminded me of if you ever watched that what was that show on Netflix? Oh, you don't have Netflix, so you wouldn't know.
That one with Kathy Bates.
Yeah,
I know what
Disjointed.
one you're talking.
It was
Yeah.
called Disjointed. All right. The dispensaries in Michigan reminded me of the dispensary you saw on there, you know, kind of. But the dispensaries in Chicago or in Illinois that I stopped at, it's like half the staff was like so baked out of their mind. You didn't, you know, it was, yeah, it was kind of an interesting experience, but the taxes that the Illinois charges those dispensaries, you know, has to charge, you know, is like makes you get a little nug for this, you know, a little nugget about
Mhm.
like that for like $85. Okay, and that nugget probably is maybe I don't know, a few grams or whatever, maybe. All right. Now you go to Michigan for the same price, you can get a full ounce and then some. You know, big difference. And
Yeah.
the quality of the weed is a lot better in Michigan too.
Yeah.
You know, and they actually have like bud tenders, you know, that you walk up to a guy, you tell them what you want or what you're looking for, and they say, well, you either want the sativa or you want the indica, and you know, then they bring out some samples to you. And man, that place was a much better experience in Michigan. Never again in Illinois, you know. But I still got a lot down there that I want to see. That's just it, you know.
Hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, there's stuff down in Chicago that it's okay to go check out, but it's just Chicago's a pain in the ass. I mean, do anything in.
I hate driving down there. I really do.
Yeah.
I've always hated it. I'll never forget the first time I went down there. I was taking a friend's car because he couldn't drive anymore. So he needed to go see his dad so that he could get some money to get out of trouble. And but he needed somebody to drive. So I drove his car and went down there. And we're on the interstate, taking the interstates and stuff, and we're on the one where it's like an expressway, and sometimes it's open and sometimes it's not, right? So we're at a standstill, middle of the week, middle of the day, 90 degrees plus outside, and we're at a standstill, bumper to bumper, waiting in, hour, 2 hours, no air conditioning, shit in this fucking car. It was a nice car though. It was a Monte Carlo. It was a really nice Monte Carlo. It was like
Hmm.
burgundy and colored T-top. It was a really nice car.
Mm-hmm.
But we get like just to the exit we needed and stuff, and we barely get down the exit to the stop sign, and the radiator hose just blew apart. Car overheated bad. It was running hot. So we ended up pulling in this gas
So
station.
it was heated.
We ended up pulling in a gas station, service station. They had those back then where, they had the hoses hanging from the, ceiling so that, all the different styles and types of radiator hoses and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was in the worst. I never felt so terrified in all my life. And this was back in the 80s. We were in the worst part of Chicago that you could possibly be in for something like that to happen. And while we were there waiting for this radiator hose to be switched out and changed and stuff, we heard gunshots. We saw a car jump the curve and hit a guy into the wall, and it's like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, where's, constantly looking over my shoulder like, what the hell's going to happen next down here? You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yep, they did. And, and it's like, man, by the time we get to where his dad's shop was, which was still kind of in the bad part of Chicago, I was like, not wanting to drive anymore down there. But I had to because he had no license. So we end up at his dad's house, and oh my God, every house that was around his, including his, was probably, at the very high end. It was like you just went into this whole other neighborhood, not too far from where his shops were, that every house looked like a fucking mansion, you know? It's kind of like here, you're in that bad part of Madison on the north side, and then the next thing you know, you're in Maple Bluff, you know, where the governor's mansion's at.
Mm-hmm.
Because he lived where Dale lives. What's that place? Oaklawn or something like that, like a suburb of Chicago.
Yeah, I really don't know that area.
But it's very ritzy neighborhoods. Yeah, a lot of cars had big trunks. Big trunks where you could hide a couple of bodies in. But, after that trip down there, and then when I was driving cab, I'll never forget driving cab. For the first time, I was still a rookie, so it was my first year at Union. And because I had the minivan at the time, dispatch was like, we need you to go to the airport and pick up this group of people, you know. You park cab. I mean, I wasn't going to break the law like some people were doing, specifically the one broad from Madison Taxi. She pulled up in front of the airport because she thought she could get away with shit. But anyway, I pulled up.
Yeah.
I pulled up to the taxi stand, went inside the airport, and had to go to I think it was the Delta desk or whatever. It was, one of the airlines. You went to the desk, got my passengers and shit. And, it was all paid for by the airline to take them from Dane County to Chicago O'Hare, right? And they were like
Right.
a pretty decent group of people, considering this was my first time going to anywhere near Chicago O'Hare. So I get into Chicago O'Hare, and
Ugh.
man, I screwed that up right from the fucking beginning. They needed to go to, I guess, what you would call the domestic flights, and I ended up in the international lane and dropping them off at the international doors. Let's just
Yeah.
say they were a little peeved at me. But that whole airport is so fucking confusing. At least it was the last time I was down
Yes, it
there.
is.
Is it still that way? I don't know.
Yes, it is.
But I hated going to that airport. But I made a lot of money going there every time. That's the only thing that made those trips worth it. But I hated that airport. Because if you didn't do it right, you'd end up in the lane going to the international drop off, and people that have a hell of a walk to get, hell, you weren't going to miss your flight. I got you there an hour before you needed to be, anyways. They were bitching about that constantly.
Like getting there too early?
No, getting there too late. Oh, we're not going to get there on time. We're not going to get there on time. And it's like, whatever. I said, we're going to get there on time. But they threw a fit about that. One guy threw a fit because I was at the international terminal instead of domestic terminal or whatever they call it. And it's like, excuse me,
Yeah,
we
domestic.
don't have that at Dane County. How am I supposed to know? I've never been to this airport before. And dispatchers, well, they're fucking idiots in the first place. Some of them thought they knew Madison better than me, and it's like, huh? You're a college student from where? You've been in Madison how long? And you think you know this town better than me? Huh. I doubt that. I just hated some of those dispatchers. They were the worst. Even you were bad as a dispatcher. No, I'm just kidding. I never had you as a dispatcher. You always worked on the transit side.
Yeah.
But they just thought, oh, I'm a college student and I'm a dispatcher. I know every fucking thing. Yeah, right. You know, I don't know what was worse. Working with some of those asshats or the road rage.
I don't know.
I definitely wouldn't want to be driving nowadays around Madison. Man, I've seen some of those things when we've gone in there. That's why I don't drive anymore. I'd still get road rage real bad, I guarantee it. But when you grow up in the city most all your life, you're gonna know that city quite well. But these guys are like, I mean, did you have to take that test?
What
You
test?
started at Union? The map test.
Map test?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, Barry gave me a map test. He's like, he showed me a map of Madison, and he's like, now write down all the roads you know. You know, because it's just, you know,
Well, you were on cab side though.
it was a map with all, map of Madison, but all the roads were blank and stuff like this. And it's like, name as many of the. I had that fucking completed in like a half an hour. I even wrote in the side roads that went off some of the areas, you know.
Yeah, I don't remember him giving us anything like that.
Maybe it was because I was uh, applying to be a cab driver, not transit.
That's a good possibility.
Because transits didn't. Most of the transits didn't they just have specific routes?
Yeah, we kind of did. We didn't do as much like cab drivers did because um, cab drivers would pick up anybody anywhere. We were basically go here, pick this person up, take them to this destination.
Right. Plus, we had the Metro Plus contract.
Right. We had the Metro Plus with that contract and medical assist rides and all that other good jive. So yeah.
So it was like, pick up at this doctor office, take him, or, take him back to this nursing home, or,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, dude. I'm
No,
tired. I've been like I said, I've got 56 hours in. I'm not used to putting that many hours in.
me, I like driving cab, though. I really did. I do miss it. I
Yeah.
don't miss working for the company we worked for, but I do miss the money, you know. I had money in my pocket every single night that I worked by the
Yeah.
end of the night, you know. I mean, on any given night, I'd have $150 in my pocket by the end of the night. Never had to worry about having cash to start my day with, you know. That was the other thing. When I was driving cab, you always had to have at least $20 to start your day with. You know, I'm glad though I never got robbed. That was one thing I was always afraid of, getting robbed. Because there was a couple of nights, man, I had some, for a short time, started, because I started after I'd finished, I'd finished like, so I could make sure I had hours on my, where I got paid by the hour type thing, which cab drivers didn't get paid. But I did do the transit part where I was working early childhood for a while.
Yeah.
So I'd start my cab shift after I was done with the last early, about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'd go until about bar time. So, that 8 hours or so, from like 4 until about 2 in the morning, I would have, on some nights, I would have $300 or $400 in cash. And it was all tips. That was just the tip side of it,
Wow.
you know, because it was a college town and they were a
No,
bunch of
no, I
freaking
know.
drunks. You know, you got anywhere near State Street, and this was the worst thing though. You, going down anywhere near State Street during Halloween. If you were a cab driver and you go down near anywhere near State Street during Halloween and you didn't have your doors locked, you'd have college students jumping in your cab while it was still moving. You know, but it was fun in a way because you get these drunk assholes, and it's like you pick them up on State Street, and they want to go, and the address they want to go to, all right, you pick them up on State Street, and the address they want to be going to would be a block walk for them just by walking across to Langdon Street.
Yep.
Okay. But they get in your cab, and so you got to go all the way down State Street and then come back and, go down like Lake Street and come up Langdon to that point, right? You know, but they'd end up throwing, oh, it's a $5-6 cab fare because you got to go around the block and, the stoplights and stuff, could eat up the timer. But by the time you get there, they're throwing like 20, $30 at you and saying, keep it because they're drunk.
Yeah.
So it was the best time. So you made a lot of money off them little short rides. Maybe not so much for the meter, but it did good on your pocket.
Well, yeah, you're making good money. See, I was on the transit and bus side where, we did all the ambulatory and the people in the wheelchairs and stuff like that. But on Friday and Saturdays, I would actually go do charters.
Like the bachelor parties.
Right. Bachelor parties and bachelorette parties. I did a bachelorette party once too. But I had one where they wanted me to pick them up. I was out on the other side of Oregon. They wanted me to pick them up. They wanted me there an hour early to get them, and I was having this bitch of a time finding the place. And when I finally found it, I was like 10, 15 minutes late. So I show up, and nobody's outside or anything. So I'm like, okay, So I got the message that I was supposed to go to the barn or the workshop that had the garage doors on it. So I go over there and I'm like, I go in, they're all in there, music just loud as hell, music and everything. And I'm like, I walk in, one guy he comes up, he's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, yeah, sorry I'm late, guys. They knew I was supposed to be here certain time and everything. He goes, oh, it's no big deal, man. We only wanted you here early so you can enjoy the strippers with us. It was a double bachelor party, and they had two strippers that came out there to do a show for them at their facility before they went and went out drinking, and they were already fucking just sloshed. These were some good looking girls, though. So I'm standing there, and he's like, yeah, man, we got sodas over in the fridge there. Go grab one if you want, So I was like, cool. I wound up with not only did I wind up taking those guys all over the place, I wound up like a $50 or $60 tip from them that night. And I sat and waited for them in the parking lot behind the bar. And while I'm sitting there, I'm reading a book, reading my book and everything. And there's these two girls come walking across the quad. And that was up by the art center that they have there in Madison off of the university. That was before they took that.
Yeah.
Before they took it down. I'm sitting there.
University Square 4.
Yeah, well, I'm sitting there, and these two girls are coming walking through, and I can hear them because I have the windows down a little bit, and it's dark. I heard them coming, so I kind of turned the light off. And then, it's kind of
Tom's back,
sitting there waiting, and they're tooling along, and I hear the one going, "I gotta pee," and the other one's like, "Well, the bar's right there. Just wait until we get in there." She's like, "No, I gotta pee like now." And the other one's like, "Come on, we're right here. The bar's right here. They got a bathroom in it." No, I gotta pee. And so right in front of my van, she pulls them down and squats and starts pissing. As soon as she did that, I reach over and I hit the fucking lights.
You know, that's the only nice thing about working down in the campus area back in those days.
No, the look on their faces, man, it was just
Priceless.
priceless. And the best part, I wished I would have had a camera for that too, man. That was hilarious that night.
You know,
Not only did I get an awesome tip, and these guys were cool as hell to run around the different bars with, but because they wanted me to pick them up early, I got to enjoy the strippers that they had that they had brought out to the place to do a show for them before they went out drinking, and then I got to mess with these girls that one that squatted in front of my van and took to take a piss.
right before I came on, I turned on the live feed just to see what you guys were talking about before I came on, and I heard you saying something about strippers, and then I go into the live feed and I hear you saying, "So I'm there reading my book." I'm like, "Why the fuck are you reading a book when there's strippers? You nerd! What the hell is wrong with you?"
No. I enjoyed the strippers. Trust me, they were really good looking girls, and they could really strut it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
No,
they get
and
paid
then
to do it.
that after the strippers
Yeah,
done
I'm-
their show, then the
He
guys
really-
all piled in the van, and I took them into Madison and
he really
and
enjoyed
backing
the,
around, all around to the different bars and everything.
he really enjoyed the strippers.
Oh, I did.
Back then he was let's just say his wife was anyway.
From the privacy of his vehicle, he
Well,
enjoyed the strippers.
My now ex-wife back then she would
She was a
would
real
not let me
bitch.
enjoy shit.
She wasn't happy with anything.
No.
Oh, I know. I had it. I have my previous ex-girlfriend was the same way.
But
Yeah,
the whole
well,
funny thing
she was
about
very
that
alcoholic.
is here it is. I meet Mark. We were working at Union Cab together. That's how we met.
You tell
was-
your story. I gotta go take.
He
I'll
was
be right
like
back.
my brother's best friend, and then later that got ruined, and he became my best friend because they couldn't get along with my brother's wife. But anyway, through the whole thing of it, somewhere along the line, they found out that me and my brother are related to his ex-wife.
Huh.
And yeah, that didn't go over with his ex-wife too well.
You know, I probably made this joke before when you talked about working for the cab company. But would that make you Jim Ignatowski?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
well,
what the hell would he be? Would he be Alex? Or he wouldn't be Laka. He's not funny enough for that.
no, he'd be more like the guy behind the cage,
Oh, Louis.
Louis. You know,
Yeah, I guess I can see that. You know, it's
see, he never drove cab. He only drove for the transit, and he dispatched for transit. I drove cab.
so he did dispatch. That would make him Louis.
So, I only, most of what I did was driving cab. I drove some transit, but the transit I drove was the overflow for because we got the Metro Plus contract and early childhood. Other than that, he did nothing but transit.
Ah, see.
Sweet.
So
really.
we were
And then
were trying to
And then
trying to figure it out.
he dispatched for
Yeah,
the
see?
For the
transit
transit
side
side,
too.
So we figured out that if you guys worked for a cab company, that would have made him Jim Ignatowski, and because you dispatched, that would have made you Louis De Palma.
Louis De Palma.
You just need the
I'm
rest
not
of the
quite
crew.
as short. I'm not quite as short as Louis, but maybe
No, but you got the
maybe
same
as
hairline.
round. Yeah, I got the same hairline. Maybe a little. Maybe the same roundness, but not quite as short.
Same attitude too.
And you have to be married to Carla from Cheers.
Oh God.
There you go.
No, yeah,
It is.
well, that's the problem.
That's
What's your
it.
name?
This is an old one too from God, I don't even know what year this is. This is an old one.
This year is 2025.
But I mean you can
Yeah,
see
so
it's still in its
2025,
package.
and it's Mayday. Today is May.
And you know, the cab company we took over, that Union took over, before that, there was actually a yellow cab company that had those checkered stripes
Huh.
in Madison.
Well, I have to go down. I wasn't seeing the.
But
Comment.
when it became Union,
That's
they
not
all
what I'm
went
having,
to
Kate.
that yellow without those checkered stripes.
So you know, Kate, even though it's mostly gone because I've been chomping at it quite a bit, it's French fries with mozzarella, ranch dressing, and bacon. Not a Philly
So
cheesesteak
it's like a
burger.
Philly cheese fries.
Kinda. I mean, you
Well,
can get cheesesteak fries. I mean, it's got the steak and the cheese in it if you want. I just
Mhm.
didn't want that. I wanted bacon ranch
you know
mozzarella.
something I miss? I used to be able to find them once in a while. All right, but I haven't seen one around this area in 20 plus years. A hoagie.
I have hoagies all the time.
I mean, I some of these places they have it, they label it a hoagie, and
No,
then you try it, it sure doesn't taste like what I know of as a hoagie.
No.
you have to come to either the Philadelphia area or we'll say the southern New Jersey area
All
to
right.
get a real hoagie.
Kate's over here talking
Well,
about Philly cheese fries pizza. Now check this out. Now I'm gonna tell you, I've stayed at a hotel twice up in Minneapolis. Okay, because of the way the route got structured and everything got kind of goofed up. So I was at this hotel. I've been there twice, and they got this restaurant that's attached to the hotel. It's called the Twin Cities 400. Really nice restaurant, and they have a happy hour, and it's a full hour. It's five to six, and each night I was there on a Monday night. They have their own pizza oven in there. It's a brick pizza oven. This last time I stayed there, they had this brand new pizza on their menu. It was a Reuben pizza. Yep, and it actually
Hell is
was.
that?
I tried it. I tried it. It was actually pretty damn good. It was the corned beef with the sauerkraut and the cheese, and they used for the dress for the sauce. They used the Thousand Island dressing.
It doesn't sound like it would be good.
The only thing that would have made it actually better is if it would have been a rye dough that they used for the pizza crust.
Hmm.
But it actually was pretty damn good. I was very surprised. But I got it. I got it for the happy hour price. Plus, I sat there and had like 3 whiskey old fashions that were made with Buffalo Trace
Well,
whiskey.
there you go. And no, Kate, I do not like sushi. I don't like cooked fish. Why the hell would I like raw fish?
Ugh.
yeah,
Sushi? No.
I don't think I could.
Oh, I love fish.
I don't
Fish is
think I
awesome,
could
especially if
handle
it's
raw
cod.
fish.
I'll have
Cod?
tuna, like tuna
Oh,
salad, like
But
where it's mixed with mayonnaise. I'll have that. That's good. But,
well, I got it. I got it.
oh, that
My
reminds
girlfriend
me.
Lisa
Thank
made
you,
me
Faith.
a tuna casserole. It's sitting downstairs.
oh well, there you go.
Did you
Oh,
know what's the one thing that people will
Chicago
frown
dogs?
on? No, what's the one thing? And I was reading this, and I'm like, why? I don't understand this. I mean, I did it all the time as a kid. I don't find myself doing it now. Okay, but what's the one thing, especially in Chicago? Thank you, Kate. Um, that you do not put on a hot dog.
ketchup.
Yep.
Now, as a
And
kid,
I
You
couldn't
don't put
understand
ketchup on a
why.
hot dog.
Yeah, but the thing was is I couldn't understand why. Do you know why?
Because
no, I mean,
ketchup doesn't go on hot dogs. It goes on French fries.
But
well,
no, do you know why you're not supposed to put it on a hot dog?
no.
The real reason, because I did some research on this a little bit last night. because of the way that ketchup is made, it's like a sweet type of relish, right? And that sweetness takes away from the actual
Savory.
taste of right, the
Yeah.
savoriness and taste of the frankfurter or the hot dog.
Now,
Well,
as a kid, I will say I like
Kate,
ketchup on my hot dog, but
actually, Kate,
Yeah,
as an adult.
I think you shouldn't get slapped. You should get the bottle of ketchup squirted in your face.
And now, since you asked if you ever had ketchup on a hot dog, and Kate is here, just for Kate, I'm going to have to ask if you ever had butter on a Pop Tart. If you haven't, then I think you
yes,
should.
I did when I was a kid.
Have you ever had
Butter,
butter on a Pop Tart?
butter
If you
on a
haven't, then
pop,
I think you should.
butter on a Pop Tart.
That's
But
a
see,
Family Guy
I
reference.
used to put ketchup on my hot dogs a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah, as a kid.
Nowadays, the only thing I can think
Cappuccino.
of is,
Cappuccino for after lunchtime because it's a breakfast drink.
I use mustard,
Frappuccino.
onions, that kind of thing.
The best
But
hot dog I
always
ever had
mustard.
was in Buttsville, New Jersey.
Jersey.
Hot Dog Johnny's.
Buttsville, New Jersey.
It was a hot dog.
Was that a coney?
With no.
No coney.
This is like mid to southern Jersey, so so it's further away from the Coney Island, but it's a hot dog with mustard, raw onions, and a pickle spear on top. Now you would think that that's messy and it doesn't sound good, but it was actually one of the best hot dogs I ever had.
That's
Every time me and Stephanie go by there, we have
half. That's actually halfway to a Chicago dog.
Well, I
Did
was
you know
at a
that?
place. I was at actually two places in Detroit when I went to
at the
Michigan.
same time.
Well, we tried them both.
Yeah.
They were owned by brothers, and they had like a falling out. So it was called Coney Island Dogs. There was
Colin Island dog.
Coney Island
Oh,
Dogs, and they were right next door to each other. So we tried them both out, and I got little shorts on YouTube about that place.
huh. Yeah, I did a little review of Hot Dog Johnny's the first time I went there with Stephanie, and because it was part of a video where we were traveling and stuff like that, and that was like our last stop. So I sat there in the car eating this hot dog, my mouth full of I'm going like, but it was actually one of the best hot dogs I've had. I enjoyed that thoroughly,
So,
and every time we
now
were there, we go.
Now we know that Tom likes hot dogs.
I like putting wieners in my mouth, man. Somebody
You
isolate
like
that,
them?
make it a
You
sound
like the
bite.
wieners? Tom likes the wieners.
He likes
Well,
to put wieners in his mouth.
Do you like them all beef or do you like the pork with the chicken?
Back to what I was saying quick about the hoagies. Back when I found that, State Street was
Oh,
because
it's Italian.
knock it off, Mark. State Street's located in the heart of campus, right in the heart of the UW campus.
No, it's not. It's at the end. It's at the one end. Anyway, continue.
It's the heart of the campus, because that's where they all go to eat and go drinking and stuff. It's right there on State Street. All right. So everything they need is right there.
Out.
So anyway, back in the 80s and the early 90s, you could find some of these students from Philly or wherever they came from opening restaurants that reminded them of home. And there was one that was opened by a couple of Philadelphia boys until they graduated, and then they closed it down or disappeared or whatever. But they had rented some space on State Street, and they had some of the best Philly, cheesesteaks and and the hoagies there were like, oh my
hoagies
God.
here are phenomenal. I mean, It's hard to well, no, I'm not going to say it's hard to find a bad hoagie because we can definitely find bad hoagies around here. It's all dependent on the roll. So now if they were doing traditional Philly hoagies and cheesesteaks, the one key ingredient is the roll itself. It has to be made by a
It's
company
like
called
with pizza,
Amoroso.
it's always the crust.
Yeah, the roll has to be made by a company called Amoroso. They make the best rolls, but they got to be fresh.
Hoagie Rose.
Oh, Amoroso.
It is the bun itself, the bread. It's got to be a certain length and a certain style to be considered a hoagie.
That's Nikki. What's up, Nikki?
Oh yeah, it's pickles. That's referring
Nicky.
to you.
Somehow
That's
I got
just
tagged
how
with that moniker.
But anyway, but yeah.
You
One
know,
of the things that I can't find hardly anywhere around here that's authentic, but there used to be like 4 or 5 fucking places all over the place here in Madison, is
Penises.
a Euro shop. Euros.
ugh,
Oh, gyros.
No, Euros. Say it right.
Gyros.
gyros,
You just like gyrating. Now shut up.
I just
gyros.
it's gyros.
They're Euros. The G is silent. Silent.
Kind
But
of
then
like
it shouldn't be
the
there.
silent on
Oh, and by
Illinois.
the way, German thick sausages there, Kate. Don't forget, you also have the kraut that goes with.
Yeah, see now I'm not big on kraut. I'm not a
Are
cabbage.
you?
can't even
What?
stand the
What the
smell
hell
of
is
that.
wrong with you guys? If you're
You know,
gonna have
when my mom would make sauerkraut,
shut up,
it would stink up
shut up
the
and
whole
listen.
apartment.
Shut up and listen. If you're gonna have a brat or you're gonna have something like that, you
Oh.
know, bratwursts are a German.
Yeah.
That is a German sausage, a bratwurst.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And bratwursts go with kraut.
Well, I will eat them when
Kraut
they're
and
cooked.
yellow mustard and onions.
If
That's
they're
the
cooked,
way you're supposed to eat them.
if they're cooked in kraut, I will still eat them. But the kraut itself, I'm not big. I'm not a big cabbage guy. It does not agree with me intestinally.
Just because it gives you gas.
Oh no, I wish that were only the case.
Oh, it gives you more than gas.
Yeah, chunky gas.
It gives you the shooting squirts.
That's right, chunky gas. It's
But
You know,
no, I mean to properly have brats or German sausages, you have to have the kraut and the diced onions and the yellow mustard.
no,
But I will not turn my nose up either to a kielbasi.
Kielbasi?
Yeah,
No,
I like
kielbasis are good. Those are good.
But they got to be the real pork.
I like the Italian sausages. Those are pretty good.
Well, any Italian guys in the audience?
Portellos. We have a place here called Portellos that has branched out from the original, which started in Chicago, and they are the original. Or he did originally Chicago dogs down there and Italian meats.
Chicago.
Or as I prefer calling it, Shit-cago.
Illinois.
Illinois. Not Louise, Illinois. You're just basically annoyed whenever you talk
Well,
about it.
Nick is every time I say it with the S.
yeah.
That's okay though. He annoys me enough in Minecraft. So
You know, there's still a lot to see
He
down.
probably didn't. He probably played with himself first and then ate his fries.
There's a lot of places. I tell you
touch my
though,
butthole.
there's
Did
a
you
lot
have
of
an itch you
places
had to
in
scratch?
Illinois I still got to see. You know,
Say that again. You got something you got to see?
well, I gotta. You know, you start getting to that point where you make a bucket list, and I got a small bucket list of things I want to see and places I want to visit.
Yes, he has a small bucket.
And there are quite a few of them left still in Illinois. Like
I have a rather large bucket.
you-
list.
Joe
got
has a small bucket. It used to be an
you
ice
got
cream
that
bucket.
Metropolis, you know, the home of Superman.
Metropolis. I thought that was in like Iowa or
No,
over
Illinois.
in Minnesota or something like
No, Illinois.
But yes, I had to wash my hands because I was handling my dad's cheesesteak
For
before he
us,
handed
that.
it
You were. He's
that
gonna
just
go
did
there.
not sound right.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. No, I'm not sorry. It's like my shirt says. See?
But to get to Metropolis, it's about a 6-hour drive.
I'm sorry. Did I offend you? Yeah.
It's an eagle shirt. No
Eagles.
one likes us. No one likes us. No
We
one
don't
likes
care.
us. We don't care. We're from Philly, fucking Philly. No one likes us. We don't care. Yeah, man. Super Bowl champions we are
You know,
for the second time.
I was just watching, and I keep that reminded me. There was
You're
a
a
big
Philly Billy?
documentary recently on the St. Valentine's Day massacre,
Hmm.
and that happened in Chicago.
Yes, that did happen in Chicago. In that area that it happened at, they've tore all that building and everything down and rebuilt.
Yeah, but you still go to that address and kind of say, "Hey, I was at that spot."
It's all been rebuilt. It's all been torn down
Never
and
forget.
rebuilt.
Yeah, but listen, I've got friends that know exact where the location is.
I got friends in
In
low
low
He's
place.
got friends in low places.
Low
where the
place.
whiskey drowns
He
and the
dug them
beer
out of the gutter.
Yep, I did.
He was.
Now I'll tell you what.
I'll
Yep.
tell you what.
I just sell propane and
Bobby.
propane accessories.
That's the other thing I can't understand.
Hey,
Why you
Joe?
wanna? Yeah.
What,
Why?
selling propane and propane accessories?
Yeah. Why is it so good to be cooking on propane?
I don't. I will never do it. I use charcoal.
I have done both.
No, you might as
I
well be
like
cooking in the house.
No, I like
Well-
charcoal, but I do like charcoal because charcoal gives you a flavor. Charcoal gives you, and it depends on what kind of charcoal you use because they do have
It also
different
depends-
types of charcoal.
And it also depends on what type of grill you have because you can,
Mhm.
smoke the wood in it and cook on
Yes.
that.
Wait, you can smoke the wood, man?
Yeah, no
Yeah,
shit.
man, I didn't even
You're
know
real
that,
high,
man.
man. I
You
really like that apple tree stuff, man.
No,
got
man,
a
you
weird taste.
you get some hemp, man. You get some of them really thick stemmed hemps, and you cut it up real good, and you dry it out, man. You
Wait,
put
can
it
you
over
eat
there.
it, man?
You put it over in that
No, but-
one area. And
I think with charcoal, you
get
feel
sparked up a little bit, man.
you
Well-
feel more accomplished when you do it with charcoal because
Well, that-
you have to control the fire and everything, and then the heat and all that.
Well, still,
yeah.
I use charcoal, and
fire.
and
Damn it,
we
David.
start the charcoal without lighter fluid. We use like a tornado.
I am
So we put paper
Yeah,
and start it
I would rather use like paper and stuff to get it
Right.
started than lighter
Right.
fluid.
Yeah,
Because with the lighter fluid, you got to wait for it to burn away. Otherwise,
Well,
you get your chimney stack thing. You fill it full of the charcoal after you put your paper in the bottom, and then you
Yeah.
take one charcoal and you stick it under the one edge to keep it up so it gets a little bit of air in there, and then you light that paper, and then you let it go.
I've never had a problem starting fires. I kind of sounded like Rick there for a second. Like, I've never really had problems starting fires. I mean, I can do it all the time and quite frequently.
But when you cook with propane or with a lighter fluid,
propane accessories.
the meat tends to taste like the propane or the lighter fluid.
Yeah, that's why I don't like using.
No.
But also if you're using propane, that's a controlled flame. You might as well be cooking on the damn stove.
Yes, propane is a controlled flame because you can turn it up, turn it down.
Yeah, no. I want to cook with fire.
Fire.
Oh, fire. Me make fire.
More power.
man, me. I made this.
Cook meat.
Fire.
Yes, it's more primal, I think. That would be a better explanation. It's more of a primal feeling to cook with charcoal than it is with propane. With
Well,
propane, it's like
It's
no,
not
I
just
cooked on
charcoal,
propane.
Tom. It's not just charcoal.
Well, I mean, you can do
use
wood.
You can use regular wood as well.
You can.
And
That's what she said.
Some of the best wood to use is apple wood.
Well, that's not what she said. Then, so.
No, she likes the morning wood.
That's right.
The morning wood. It tends to have a different flavor for her.
That's right. It tastes of sweat and salt.
Well, it depends on how you slept the night before.
Well, if she does it
Well,
right,
if you
she'll get her
shower.
protein too.
But the thing is, did you sleep all hot and sweaty, or were you nice and cool?
I like to be cool. However, it doesn't always happen that way. Last night I had a shitty night's sleep. I had one of those dreams that when you look at it in hindsight, after it's like it was so stupid, but it had me shook so much. It was about like spirits and ghosts and shit, and they would not leave me alone. And it had me so shook that I had to stay awake for a half hour
What do
just
you
to
mean
make sure I
by-
didn't go back to it.
What are you going? What are you going by for, Kate?
Oh, because everybody's burping.
Yep.
Get your pansy ass out of here. What the hell?
Why she get offended? Oh,
No,
There
I'm
you go.
always doing that. Like we'll be playing
there you go.
Minecraft.
I'm
I'll just
sorry.
I don't even think about
Like
it.
my
It
shirt
flips
says.
out.
I'm sorry. Did I?
And she'll be like, ew.
Well, if I offended you, don't worry. The offenses
Sorry.
are gonna continue coming.
It's a sorry thing, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, just let us know so we can keep doing it.
Exactly. Yeah, we got a little late start because I got off. I got off. work late.
Whoa.
You got off.
We
Wow.
don't need to know any of that.
Yeah, that's like a little TMI.
That's how he lost his hair.
And
That's
yeah, so I lost my hair because of it. No, I got done with work a little late. Didn't get home till a little late, so it sucks when that happens.
so you were late. Did you let your wife know just in case you're pregnant? Or-
I'm not married anymore.
okay.
Yes.
So it's an immaculate conception. possibly. Yeah.
Immaculately concepted
He
it.
might as well be married though.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine or Mike Cocaine?
Well, if you say Michael Caine, you're saying Michael Caine the same way he says
Yep.
his name. Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
You just have to put that upwards of inflection on the ain. You know that
Ain.
Michael Caine. Yeah.
Oh, you said that Michael Caine. He was in that movie, that movie. Now You See Me.
Yeah.
Okay,
And they're doing another one.
they're doing a third one, dude.
Get the hell! It wasn't that good.
looks- Oh, come on! Both of them were good,
The
and
second one,
the third one looks even better.
like you see the one dude. What's his name? Jesse
What, Jesse?
Eisenberg or whatever. Like you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
him saying,
Jesse
"It's so
Eisenberg,
great
right.
to be back." I saw that part of the clip and I went, "All right, next."
No, you gotta watch
No.
the whole clip, dude. But no, it looks really good.
Is
They're,
Woody Harrelson in it too?
Yes,
Well, I guess that's
the original Four Horsemen are in it, and there's 4 new ones. And God damn it!
Damn it,
You know
dude.
the guy that now I'm drawing a blank.
How is that
um,
possible? How do you draw a blank? You're like,
With an invisible pen. See?
what does a blank look like? How many sides does it have? Is it curvy?
Yeah, I'm gonna go down and take pictures of this tomorrow. Or no, not tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be in Milwaukee.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Yeah,
Milwaukee.
after
Tomorrow's Friday, and then
Yeah, but-
Saturday comes after that.
she's taking Joy for shots tomorrow,
Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
and then after that, we're taking a trip to Milwaukee Leather so I can pick up a leather vest.
That's to go with the leather mask that he bought yesterday.
Yeah.
It's
The leather suit
with the zipper mouth and all that.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that they went and found a one of those cat suits. Or no, not a cat suit. It's a gimp. The gimp suit. That's right. It was the gimp
That's where I was.
suit.
That's where I was going with that. whole
That's
thing.
what it's called. Yeah, it's got the zipper in the mouth, and then you can
I'm gonna go take pictures of that boat because you know the pontoon. All right, I'm gonna show those pictures again. Hold on.
They're X-rated, so just to let you know.
Yes, please. Viewer discretion advised.
All right.
Because Joe does do some weird things.
Because he is showing his dinghy in the background, though.
Yes, he is.
That's
the minnow.
Right. That boat's been stranded on the Milwaukee side of Lake Michigan since last year, and it really there was no graffiti on it or anything. It was a really nice looking boat when it first somehow, and apparently this is part of where the Lake Michigan Triangle, the one of the corners comes out on this beach shore.
Allegedly.
All right.
Anyway,
Anyway, this here was going to be one of the rescue boats, right? They had it kind of docked up over here and something. Anyway, the night before, they had it all ready to go for the next morning. And during the night, this was recently, where they had those windstorms, like really high winds and stuff. Remember that? And the tornado warnings were out all over the Wisconsin. It was like possible storms. I think that was Monday where it got up to like 80 something degrees outside. Well, anyway, the wind did this damage here and blew it up and tore the one pontoon off the other side.
We had a boat that was stranded on the side of the Delaware River here. I did a video on it a couple times. The second time I went there, it was burned down pretty much, like half. You saw all the fiberglass melted all over the place. And
see, look, he's starting to get into the porn now. Look, see the one above it? Look at the legs.
It's not, yeah, whatever. it's those things.
Oh, wait, that is a chick in a bikini. Wait, let me.
It's the real. But
like, he's laughing, but that was actually Mark's reel that came up. In the,
oh no!
Look at some of the.
That was one of the strippers from the place he went.
It could have been.
They hired a company, and the company's boat ended up just as stranded as this. Because the company hired to get rid of the boat that has sat abandoned for months, Lake Michigan. The second boat is called Pulling a Raft, and it was anchored offshore until last night's wind blew it into this position. A pontoon was separated from the right or starboard side of the pulling raft that's now floating along the shore of Lake Michigan. And so apparently, from what I understand, that's like one of the points of where the triangle makes the Lake Michigan Triangle makes a point at that beach. I'm going to go down and take a look.
He's going to
go out of curiosity, since I'm going to be in that area.
He's going to go down in that area on the point.
Yeah.
Well, it's south.
Go down on the point.
Well, that's south of me.
Basically. Well, yeah, that's usually where it is. That's
Yeah. Stay south.
You
make it easy. You make it too easy.
They need to fix that when you share a screen and all that shit pops up afterwards.
Yeah, I don't share screens too often when I do my live feeds. It's been very minimal when I did it.
Anyway, yeah, I know we started late. I don't think we should go over unless you want to.
Yeah, I'm actually getting hungry. I want to go get some my food.
He wants his tuna.
I got chicken here from Quick Trip.
Well, I have cold mozzarella ranch bacon fries now. So. But there's not much left. I ate it.
All right. Till next time. There won't be a show tomorrow because I won't be around.
There'll be a square.
Yeah.
That's the well. No, I don't. Not everybody needs to know that, Kate. You know, I'm just saying.
So till next time, stay safe. And remember, anything's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.